Morning, guys. Welcome to Words from a Friend podcast. I'm your host, Marty Curie, and this is the podcast that follows my book, Words from a Friend, a daily guide to a purposeful life. It's available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. We're on a 365-day inner journey together, so happy and grateful to have you along. We're on day 177 of that journey, and today's message is a two-pager. Calm confidence. Oh, man. Calm confidence. Do you know this energy? Do you move in this energy? Do you walk in it? Or are you walking on eggshells? Are you waiting for the next shoe to drop? Are you worried about an unknown future? Or are you stuck in a past that will not let you go? There it is. That's the ego. Okay? That's the ego journey. Fear-based journey. We're here to break out of a fear-based journey into a light-based journey, love-based, heart-centered, heart-based journey. Okay? That's the one that feels best to you. That's the one that provides the best energy as your aura, as yourself, as your whole being takes over the conditioned self and says, no, we're not going to be conditioned anymore. I've got some better thoughts, some better words, and some better deeds to spit out and do. And that will be the steady rudder of my life as my walk home, the place we all go back to. All right, back to the light. So the heaven within is that light, and we have it. And when we use it like our magic wand in this upside down world, we thrive. We thrive because we decided to shine in truth rather than get lost in the depths of our own ignorance, not seeking. But when you seek the truth, you're not going to be watching the news for it. You're not. You're going to be listening to your heart. You're going to be listening. You're going to be seeking that calm. You're going to be seeking that peace that the world does not want you to know. The world doesn't want you to have it, because in that peace, you can't be controlled. You realize that you are sovereign, connected part of the ocean. You know what I mean? It is. You're a cup of gold, and you're in the phase of remembrance. You're in the phase of remembrance, which is you see the bullshit and you go, no more. I'm sick of the sickness, sick of it residing in this house. I want it out of this house. I want it loved up, forgiven, moved out, given to God, and onward we sail into more fruitful, beneficial, and calm waters. Calm waters here. No matter what's going on out there, we can have calm in here. And when we move in that calm, we spread that. We spread that remembrance of who we really are. Because in truth, we would never be, in fear and out of ourselves the way we are in this place, and bringing trouble to our own door by spreading the lie that, the great lie, that we're not one family. Okay? And so there is the absolute evil forces that separate us from knowing that. But the truth is being revealed before our eyes. We're seeing it, all of us. We're seeing it. The bullshit that has been, perpetrated by every news organization around the world as a constant drumbeat of an underlying message. That underlying lie is the constant drumbeat of fear, threats. Do this. This is what we tell you is normal, etc., etc. Bullshit. Bullshit. No, we're a piece of that divine. That's the truth. That's where we come from. We don't come from here. We come from the divine. We incarnate here. And the reason that we're here now, is a special time that I speak about every day, is that the world is decided. And Mother Gaia, the earth itself, is a living being. It's a living, breathing being itself, because it's made of what? It's made of that essence of every living being. It's called love. We know it is love, but our little human understanding of it is just this little romantic notion that you're in or you're out of. Okay? So, well, that's true in some sense. The way we think is we're in the truth, which is love, or out of the truth in our conditioned ego, in the self that we've created as kind of like this protection mechanism for not getting hurt by others, you know. But in that, we wear a disguise. We're disguising ourselves. We're wearing a mask. We don't get to take that mask off because we worry so much of what other people will think about us. But if you're moving in the light, you're just spreading the good stuff. You don't care because you know it's true, and you've decided to be on the side of the truth. All right? The side of love, not the side of the broken wheel of doom and gloom that is spread upon this place like Monsanto sprays our food on my Fruit Loops. You bastards. Yeah, but your time has come too. So anyway, calm confidence. I can't begin to tell you how crucial this energy is in your life. You must begin cultivating it within yourself today in order to know true success and an amazing life. In the ability to be calm in the midst of the chaos, the drama, and the storms of life is the very power of true security. You know, we're always seeking security. Well, security on earth is money. If you don't have it, you're insecure. Or if you don't have somebody there next to you, you're insecure. When you have a higher self that says you're always secure, that's a hard concept for the human ego to get itself around, because the ego isn't the real part of you. The real part of you is the one that can do. The real part of you is the one that is secure in all of eternity, secure as what we say all the time. You're a cup of the great ocean, and you have the same powers, the same abilities to heal as that does. We have that ability to heal ourselves and to heal others emotionally. And in that emotional healing, we heal physically, because the mind-body connection is absolute. You know, our thoughts become the things of our lives. I wrote this down. This one came to me this morning, and I wrote it down. It says, who is it that is aware of the thoughts you're thinking? Who's thinking those thoughts? Well, you go, oh, they're just my thoughts. Just my thoughts. And I just act upon my thoughts. Well, no. Thoughts are not you. They're our thoughts. There's like a wheel of thoughts going around, and we choose those thoughts based on lots of times just habit, the same habitual thoughts every single day. We just mull them over and over and over again. And it's kind of Neanderthal thinking. When we wake up, we go, well, actually, we're the chooser of our thoughts. We are the observer of thoughts. Thoughts are energetic possibilities. Think of them as an energetic possibility, a thought that you think. Now you choose an energetic thought, a thought that is beneficial, a positive thought, one that serves, one that's helpful. And then you decide to animate it through your voice, which is energy, vibration, energy and vibration. The words you use have a tone to them. They have a specific reading in each of us. That's how we can communicate. We can communicate just in tone alone. You know that different tones we have, right? Lighthearted and hard-hearted and, mean and kind. All those different tones we sing through our voice. And then we animate those with our actions, some good, some not good at all. So we're really, when you boil it down, we are the energy body within. We're the soul deciding which way to go when we wake up. And the soul knows exactly the way to go. It knows your journey. It knows exactly what you need most to rise to your highest potential while you're here, which is why you came. You came to rise to your highest potential here. Some call it awakening, some call it enlightenment, but really what it is moving home to the heaven within. And that is the knowing of truth. And then when we expand that, like if I'm on here and I'm yapping about it on this podcast and it's resonating in your heart, it's going, yeah, I see it too. I can't help but see it now. I see it too. And I completely understand what you're saying. Even if some of your words are just new concepts to me, I understand it instinctively from my soul. It's a resonance. It's like a beautiful note that I'm sending to you. It's a truthful note. And it goes bing, and it's boom, it's nice, it's whoa, and then sometimes we're like, whoa, a nugget hits, you go, wow, I get it. Wow, I finally get it. One of those. Well, man, let me tell you something. There's a million of those that you can have, a million of them. When you decide to make that shift and turn into the truth, you become that. For me, it was once I heard it and it resonated with me. I go, all else seems like nonsense, and it is. It is. I mean, it's learning nonsense. We learn from the nonsense. There's no question. But once you've learned, then it's like just nonsense, and you can let it go. You can let it go. That's like the nonsense of old selves. You wouldn't do or say those things anymore, right? But you learned and you grew. Well, that's the point. So you grow out of the nonsense. You're not keep growing back into it. Don't grow back into the nonsense. You're waking up. You go, I can't live in that nonsense anymore. I can't be caught in those nonsensical conversations, that nonsensical small talk, that low energy living, thinking, acting. None of it. Because when you know who you are, you're like, okay, let's giddy up. I just want to create now. Cool stuff, just to make my heart sing and to stay in that resonance. Creativity is how we stay in that resonance. Stuff that we bring from our heart is how we stay there and learn to live there and learn to slough off the stuff that doesn't suit that. Naturally, we are our own medicine when we move into the higher self. Okay. So I've known only the ability to be calm in the midst of chaos, drama, and the storms of life is the very power of true security. The inner knowing and faith that whatever comes your way, you'll be able to handle it well. This is freedom. Freedom from fear, worry, dread, and waiting for the next shoe to drop. We all know these feelings. That's anxiety, man. Ugh. Jeez, I know that voice. It's a liar. It's a liar. Okay. Use it as fuel. Use it as what not to do or what not. Say, okay, well, I hear what you're saying, scaredy cat. I'm doing it anyway. I've had to say that to myself many times. It's all right. That's okay. Say, okay, I appreciate you trying to keep me safe, but there's no safety in stagnation. There isn't, because you're a growth-seeking being. The light seeks to grow. The light seeks to shine. The light in you seeks to shine. Don't keep it trapped in there. You've got the sun in there. Let that sun out. Let it out. Let it tan some other people with good energy. Get in it yourself. It is a healing thing. Always, any attribute that you may admire in others is completely attainable by you, or you wouldn't even notice it. You wouldn't even notice it, right? It wouldn't even come up on your screen. It may come up on your screen first from your conditioned ego self as jealousy. Don't believe that either. See what it is that you find, that could benefit your life in that. And then take that note, instead of pinging off of jealousy, let it ping off of inspiration and say, I'm not jealous of this person anymore. I'm just inspired. And I want to live that way too, in my own way, because you're not going to I am nobody's guru. You are your own guru. Remember I said that. You're your own guru. You take these concepts and you do them your way. Okay. When I say concept, I don't mean love as a concept. I mean, it may seem like a concept at first to your ego, but what it really is, it's truth, like water trickling back in to remind you that you're so much bigger than that little story you were telling yourself, that little character that you were playing, and maybe stifling yourself, or maybe over-aggrandizing yourself. You're right in the center. Humble giver, grateful receiver. Humble giver, grateful receiver. That's a great energy to live in. It's right there. Okay. Serve. Grateful when anything beautiful comes your way. Humble. This is simple, but it's a gift. It may be just a nugget of wisdom. It may be an arm around your shoulder. It may be a phone call when they just needed it. Humble giving. It's the most important. Let me tell you something. That is the gold. So it doesn't have to be this big extravagance. No. The greatest gifts I've ever been given in my life were the most humble ones. The ones that were a feeling of that knowing, a feeling of that unconditional love from somebody close to you. It may not even be family. It may be somebody that gave that to you that you've never felt from somebody before. Somebody who matched the expectation of what unconditional love is in your mind, what that might feel like, because you don't really feel like you know it. You don't really feel like you've felt it, because in this world, we have duality. So we've got this weight inside of us that we walk in. It's like we're gravity. We have some gravity in us, which can cloud that knowing and that lightness. Okay. But remember that energy, that light energy can dissipate those clouds, can clear that density within. And what is that called? That's called clarity. It's called clarity. It's the sun parting the clouds. And it's an energetic happening within. All right. That's when self-love, appreciation for how God created you and the gift of life to be here and get a crack at it, especially during this time, is a gift indeed. And we can look away from that gift and not see it as that. And we can get stuck in low energy thinking and living, which is what we're trying to save ourselves from. Save ourselves with the Christ consciousness that's been given to us. So passed on to us. It's the torch within. Time to ramp up that flame, baby. The year of the fire horse. Year of the fire horse. This is it. All right. Don't leave that flame a little candle inside. Let that grow. Let that grow. Okay. I've known only a few in my life who have exhibited this power, and they are what I call my mentors of light. And there have been many in my life, mentors of light, actually. A few, however, that really stood out and said, why doesn't everybody live like this? Why isn't every human like this person? And boy, when you meet those people, they inspire me most. So many of the authors that I have read, that they've, the stories of how they went from dust and darkness, into remembrance. That's the journey, my friends. That's the journey. Came here to remember who you really are, your giant self, that giant within. Okay? So this process of modeling is really just discovering the energy of another and learning that you are it as well. You say mimic it, but it's really a reminder that you already have it. You're already it. You're already the same. You already come from that same soul family, and you're feeling something soulful. You're feeling something soulful if it's resonating within the heart space. Okay, and you know it. It dings different. It's a different frequency. It's a different tone. Okay, so always remember that it all begins in thought, and it moves to feeling, and then emits that energy. So when you really become the captain of your ship, you don't just let anything take you over. Oh, no, you don't. You don't let that stuff just take you over like you used to. You watch it, you observe it, and you let it go before it takes you over. And that's the practice. That's a breathing. You can do that in breathing. You can do that by meditation. You can do that in, solitude and prayer. You can do that in nature, just being in the woods and letting that energy just take that right out of you. You can take a shower and let that water run over you and dissipate all of that negativity, because water is the source in liquid form. Water is light. Water is love. Without it, we would not be here. Without it, we could not be here. Without it, we could not incarnate. So think about that. Water is God in liquid form. It's in the rain. With the trees, couldn't survive without it, right? So God knows just what to do. Nature and God are one, So, and we are nature. Never forget that. That's the oneness. That's how we're all connected. And humans, we can connect a lot deeper than we have been. And we're learning to do that. We're learning to connect in the truth, which is way deeper than the shallow ass ego. Shallow ass ego. Okay. Your life is made up of billions of moment by moment experiences, some great and some not so great. Yet the ones that are not so great, they're also teachers. All right. So don't just discard them. Glean the lesson. Pan the gold out. Sift out the dirt and glean the gold. All right. We collect these energies that are handed in many ways that are anxious, nervous, angry, explosive, and fearful. We soak them up like a sponge, and they only leave us with intentionally if we intentionally move past them, if we recognize them. You can't clear the clouds unless you see them for what they are and why and what are they trying to teach us. What's the lesson in that cloud? There's a lesson in that cloud. All right, glean the lesson by shining a light on it, shining your sun on it, and it will glean the lesson and part the cloud. It'll glean the lesson and part the cloud. You got to look at it. Face everything and rise. That's what fear should really mean. F-E-A-R, face everything and rise. Because you're facing it not with fear itself, because that's what keeps it in place. You're not looking away from it. You're looking it straight in the eye and go, yeah, what? What? I'm the light. What do you got? If you got darkness, I'm already going to blow it out with this light. I'm going to blow it up. I'm like a light switch that turns on a dark room. So now what do you got? Okay, there you go. That's your power that you're remembering. You're remembering that you have a light that can dispel all darkness and fear. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Right? Why? For thine is the kingdom and the glory, baby. The kingdom and the glory is already you. It's already in you. You're already walking in it. Walk on, spiritual warrior. Walk tall, stand tall. Stand tall and walk in that light. It's a very friendly place inside. It's a very nice place to live in. And it's a very nice experience to be around people in that sphere. And you can raise that light wherever you are, and everybody can be in it, right? So you're bringing that stuff, okay? So, and you're not just looking to take from other people. It's like, oh, geez, well, maybe they'll be there and I'll feel better. Bring it. Then you're always in it. You yourself are always in it. If you're creating it, you're always in it. You're always feeling that light that you yourself are creating, instead of the curmudgeon that's always creating the wheel of doom and gloom and complaints, right? Choice. You're a choice maker. You're the observer and the choice maker, right? You're the art and the artist. So remember that. Let's see. All of which overshadow our true state of inner peace and calm. Herein lies the challenge. Being calm is a daily cultivation in the garden of your inner life. You're taking command of your thought life for sure. You're slowing those down and saying, you're not me. You're just something that passes by and that I could choose to animate if I want. Now I want to choose the beneficial ones, the ones that make me stay in the light and the ones that make me serve it. Okay? Not that I'm not going to feel this or that, but that's where I know where I want to be. So where do you want to be? Well, you are the energy that can create either. And you're the energy of both. So choose wisely, my friends. Choose your thoughts, choose your words, and choose your actions. Being calm is a daily cultivation of the garden. The whole key to inner peace is faith. Trust. Trust that you are it. Trust that you are that divine connection in a small cell for a little while, dressed as a human. Faith is knowing that whatever the universe brings into your life, you have been readied to handle it. Even though your ego's going, oh, no, I'm not. No. Well, God says you are. Okay? So, and in order to move forward, handle it you must. Your response to any issue in your life must come from this place in order to grow to new levels that you came here to grow into. Came here to grow into those new levels. Okay? Don't let yourself down. Don't let yourself down. You are never given things you are not ready for. So being calm or shifting to calmness after you had a reaction to a challenging situation will be your path to success and growth. I'm not saying that, these things that can happen to us don't take some time to get back into that. Okay? And they do, but that's the walk back. All right? And that's the march on. That is the march forward. And it can be baby steps at first. Okay? Compassion for yourself is very important. Very important. Okay? What would you say to somebody else? You got to give that same love to yourself. How would you love somebody else through something? You've got to love yourself through that way. Take your own advice. Take your own loving advice you'd give to somebody else. You give it to yourself for a change. How about that? How about that? How many times have we done that? We know the great advice to give to others, but we don't take it ourselves. It's a gift either way. So you want to give it to yourself, as first. So then you have that gift to just keep giving. Not when you feel like it, but it's just always there because you're living in it. Okay. So meditation or just quiet contemplation time is a must in everyone's life. Everyone knows the value of alone time. Your task is to spend some of it cultivating inner calmness. Well, that's really what it is. Once you have delved into this practice for a while, you begin to notice its effects in your outer world. Sure you will. What's in here is going to be seen out here. What your expression is going to be what surrounds you. Okay? So you want to know where you are in your vibration, what's going on in your life. Okay? So cultivate that. You got to become the gardener if you haven't been cultivating it, which means you got to weed out some stuff, weed out some situations, weed out some old habits, and replace those with things that make you feel lighter, that you enjoy doing, places you enjoy being, calm, peaceful, something the world doesn't give you. It's the opposite of what the world gives you. You have to give to yourself, okay? And making the time to do that is of the utmost importance in order to remember yourself. You got to give yourself that time, that quiet time, that solitude. All right, it's nobody else's time but yours, and you can certainly be selfish in that. Selfish in healing, Of course, give yourself that time. My God, how much time do you give to everything else? How about you giving yourself an hour? How about that? Okay, you can't leave yourself out of the equation, man. You're the center of your own universe. You're it. So what you create in here will be your message to the world. And always say that needs to be intentional. That needs to be purposeful. And that needs to be lived out in order to be real. Okay? So you want it to be real. You want this life of yours to be meaningful, purposeful, and real. Okay? Live in the truth and express it is what you came here to do. All right? Inner peace is a must if we want to live in the higher energies and truly help guide others in that direction. If you're normally a reactionary person going to 10 in a negative expression at the first sign of trouble, this practice is a must for your transformation and a higher level of life. Not that you're going to be this calm zombie, I don't care, the house is burning. No. But in a calm state, you handle things much more because you're almost like you're trained, like a trained paramedic or trained anything. Police officer or anything like that. You've been trained to answer an emergency of any kind. Well, they're first trained to do it is trying to do it in as calm state as possible, because you've got to think clearly. And when we're in chaos, are we thinking clearly? No, or scrambled egg brain, scrambled eggs. So you're like a Buddhist monk. How do you think they'd handle it? With some kung fu, some Shaolin kung fu. They'd handle the situation, but they'd handle everything mindfully, wouldn't they? They'd handle it mindfully, knowing that they're helping. It's a helping energy, and I'm going to help, and I'm going to bring my best to it. Well, that's got to be a calm state. That's like, God, keep me in a good state here. I'm needed, and let me do the right thing. Yeah, I'm always seeking that assistance, always. So I know I'm not working alone. I'm working with the best. So I'm not leaving that out. I didn't do that clearly. All right. Reaction is the realm of the ego. It loves to escalate the problem as its first priority, even unconsciously. People go, I don't love to escalate the problem. Just that tone escalates the problem. You have to understand energy in order to wield it properly. You have to understand tone in order to take command of your own ship, or you're just, Ew. All right, you're like a musical instrument that hasn't been tuned. All right, you can tune your musical instrument, and you can. It's not about being perfect. It's about being beneficial. All right, actually helpful at the deepest level. At the deepest level, but in a way that is not cause the ego to react. Ooh, that's a magic. That is love. That's how love gets past the ego. Like water. I'm going to get past that gatekeeper that doesn't quite understand who it is yet. And I'm going to get into the heart of the matter with that person. And I'm going to say, okay, remember. Here it is, your remember center. Am I this loud, or is this just a character I've created to keep other people off my back? Yeah, we all have that one, right? It's like, but how often is that your whole way you walk? It could be. It's just like, you've been hurt so many times. It's just like, screw it. I hate everybody, and this is what they're going to get. Well, that's hurting you. All right, you're walking in that energy, and you think it's not bringing you down, but it is. It's a weight. It's a weight that you can get rid of, and you got to love yourself enough to say, I don't care what they think. I don't care what they think. It's not a power that they have over me. I'm not giving that power to anybody else, whether they like me or they hate me. It doesn't matter. Okay? I'm here to do this. I'm here to do this, and I'm going to do it. So and what better place to have that attitude than serving the light? What better place to have that attitude of, I don't care. I'm serving the light anyway. Well, that's kind of like what Mother Teresa said. People are going to hurt you. Forgive them anyway. You're not going to feel like apologizing for things that you've done wrong. Apologize anyway. Why? Because these keep you free. These keep you out of that mindset. It keeps you in walking with the truth. And that's the best way to walk back home. It's what you're leaving behind is a baton of truth that other people can grab onto and do their own search for themselves with some breadcrumbs that you left. With some breadcrumbs. This is a book of breadcrumbs. And I hope they help. I hope they help you. You're saying, I am looking in. I was afraid to before because I didn't like who I was. I didn't like what I was doing. And I've hurt a lot of people, and I know I have. And I don't like that about myself. And I want to change that. Okay. Well, the first person you got to forgive is yourself, or else, because you're carrying all that in there, and say, okay, God, let the change begin. It's not something that you're doing alone. You're just opening the door to that light now coming in and taking over the wheel with you. All right. As your guide, rather than you're letting that one that hurt before, that was hurt so many others. You stop hurting yourself. You'll stop hurting others. All right. You stop believing that crap about yourself and start living anew where you can believe it about yourself, and you become consistent in that new walk. That old self will just die off. It'll just die off. It'll want to come back, and it'll want to have some times here and there along the way. But you just stay in remembrance, and you'll be fine. Better than fine. You'll be thriving, okay, in a whole new way. So, and that is what the light brings. It brings forgiveness, and it brings the ability for us to forgive ourselves, so we can walk with God. And a lot of times that's what keeps us there. It's like, God, I've done so many things to offend you. I can't even imagine why you would let me come back. I've done the worst of the worst. I felt the worst of the worst, and I've helped other people to feel bad about themselves. I don't want that walking in me anymore. Take that out of me. And I want to walk. I want to walk with you. Okay? And there you go. Watch your life change. It is the shift. And now, instead of just, it's up. Okay? Onward and upward. Good things are going to happen for you. Good things are going to come for you. And you stay in appreciation for that, because you're going to see God's hand, and make sure you're saying thank you a lot, because that's the state you want to stay in gratitude. It's clarity. Gratitude is clarity. Empathy, compassion, humor, lots of it. Lots of laughter, as much as possible. Keeps that beautiful self of yours staying light and not taking things so seriously, even about yourself. Don't take yourself so seriously, especially yourself, because what's most real in you is that observer, is that light, and is that change maker within. And change is all there is here. So not only you roll with it, but you create it instead. You create the change, and you look forward to it. You look forward to it instead. Today, CTA, adopt the mantra of I must be ready and I am well equipped. Both of those. Well, I must be ready. here it is. God said it. And I go, oh, I've never done this before. And yet you've been prepared. So this is just the next thing, you know? It's like having to, you practice and practice for the big musical at school. I remember my daughter, Katie, going up and she did all the plays. And she loved it. I would help her with her lines when she was just in middle school, and she had to play Chip, the teacup, in Beauty and the Beast, and her whole costume was a teacup and her little face coming out of the teacup, and the rest of her body was in this box that they rolled around the stage, and she had to do that Chip the teacup thing. And I remember her learning her lines, and she was just so grateful to have any part in that play because she just wanted to be in it and to experience it and to knock the crap out of the part that she was playing. So we always read the lines, and I loved helping her read her lines. Dad, it's time to do lines. Like, okay. And to get to see the play finally come together and say, she's like, I'm so nervous. I go, Kate, you've prepared yourself. You're prepared. You're ready to go. She goes, I know, but I hope I don't forget anything. I go, Kate, nail it. Just go out and do what we do when we're home. But put that big smile on and do it. And she did. And sheesh, still gets me. Best stuff on earth. Best stuff on earth. So don't leave that music inside of you. Don't stay off the stage once you're prepared. God's going to put you on the stage, and just do it and just nail it and just go for it. You're here to go for it. So go for it. If you've got these opportunities, create them for yourself. And you go, can't create them for yourself and go, no, I didn't really want it. No, you're going to do it. And you're going to be great. You're going to be great. So keep that inside. God is your biggest cheerleader. God is your biggest cheerleader. You're a child. You're his child. It's like, aren't you your child's biggest cheerleader? That's what God is. The rest is nonsense. If you're listening to that voice inside that is not cheerleading you, that is telling you to self-doubt, that is telling you that you're less than, that is telling you can't do it, it's never God. That may change your whole life. That statement. That's not God. Nope. God loves every one of his children and says, come back to me. Come back to the feeling of me. Come back to the knowing of me. Come back to the spirit of me. Come back to the journey that you're going to walk that's going to be the best one of your life. That's only done when you know it. Because you can have all the money in the world and still be miserable. A lot of miserable billionaires out there having shitty lives and meaningless. Look at them. Look at them. You think that people call scumbags the poor people. You know who's the poorest? The one that does not know God is the poorest. They can have all the money in the world and never know who they are. So that's not what you want. No, you want the real gold. It's in your soul. That's the real gold. Like Ronnie Van Zant from Skinner says, in Simple Man, all that you need is in your soul, baby. Yeah, he was a poet for the common man, my favorite band in the world. Leonard Skinner. They had Troy Crit, but it was Jacksonville. Anyway, I digress. Much love today, guys. You know what to do. You go out and spread that love and light of yours, and you'll be living in it. And you'll be feeling the best you've ever felt. Give. You're a giver. Much love. See you tomorrow.